Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm here in Oshan fishing village. This is pretty beautiful, and you can see a lot of boats lying here on the beach here in Oshan. These guys just came back like early morning from the ocean. They went out to get their fish, and I'll speak about this place a little bit later as we go on. But as you can see, as far as the eye can see, you just see these little fishing boat stretches out along the beach there. And the cool thing is, you guys won't see it on the camera right now, but if I go forward a little bit forward between these fishing boats, you'll see that this is a fishing little village. Look how clear the ocean is. And right there in the distance is Laoshan, part of Laoshan, with a big Ferris wheel and new skyscrapers coming up there in the distance. And that is what makes this place so freaking awesome, because this little village is untouched and they're gonna keep it as is, and there's a good reason for that, and that is what we're going to talk about today. So let's make our way into the village. And I will tell you what this is. Now, the cool thing about this fishing village is they are farming oysters and shell, like clamps over here. As you can see, I'm literally stepping onto the clamps, the shellfish now. Look at this. It's like a ton of them, a heap of them lying here. And they do it obviously to protect the ocean. So instead of, you know, catching the oceans dead and dry, these guys over here set up farms, and they are farming oysters. So this is actually very famous. All the oysters coming from this little fishing village is going straight into the city, the big city of Qingdao, and also throughout China essentially. It's pretty awesome to see it. Like a couple of days ago, there were pictures of like heaps of oysters lying on the beaches here, and big trucks came in and picked them up and took them into the city, which was pretty cool. We obviously missed that, but we're gonna see what we can find today. Maybe eat something here, maybe try eat some oysters, and yeah, see what we can find in this beautiful little village. Some locals here, very happy locals. We actually just spoke to that guy over there, and he's going out to get some fish right now. But yeah, just look at this. So yeah, I'm basically in the main road right now. Check this out, BMW is driving here, but I'm basically in the main road in this little fishing village. We're gonna try find something to eat now, but it's pretty awesome. I like the view, I like the vibe. I mean, look at these boats sitting here next to the road, and these buoys, what do you call these things? Yeah, it's obviously buoys, like for nets. Right next to this house here, there's some nets lying on the ground there. And yeah man, if you ever want to see a fishing village, I recommend you guys to come to Oshan fishing village, because this is the real deal. You can even smell the fish in the air. It's so fresh, it's just amazing. And this is really somebody's house. Look, they are building the side up with these clamps. I don't know what's the reason for that, but that's a pretty damn good idea. Old abandoned little fishing boat sitting right here on the side. Obviously it's going nowhere anymore, but now it's part of the decorations of the little fishing town. But yeah, let's go find something to eat. So yeah, all of these Chinese characters are restaurants, all these buildings, so it's not really that difficult to find a place to eat. And we're just gonna choose any random one and go try some food. Obviously seafood, some oysters, as I said. Just check this out, a bunch of Audis, BMWs. These people are really rich living in this fishing towns, I can tell you that. Doing business here, actually owning houses here, and it's such a pretty sight. I mean, look at that. Look at that, all next to this main road here. Just little fishing boats lying in their little harbor, if you want to call it a harbor. Pretty nice. And this is so amazing for me, seeing all these this clamp shell on one heap. It's like they sweep it onto heaps. I don't know if they reuse it again, like that guy that I showed you piling them up right next to his home. I don't know what's the reason for it, but there's another one over there. Pretty cool. So over there they are still taking out some oysters and they are selling them there. We will go check it out now. But first let's go eat some food here. And this is important to see the oysters they take out of the ocean, because, you know, if you look at the fish and the oysters and everything they take out of the oceans, you pretty much know if the oceans are healthy by the size of the oysters, the condition of the oysters, you know, the cleanliness of the area where they take these oysters out. So it tells you a lot what is happening inside the ocean if you go see where they actually land, these oysters. But first let's go in here, grab something to eat and taste this food. Are we gonna eat here? 你好. 你好. Huh? Let's go check it out. Some people eating there. Whoa. Wow, this is their kitchen, I think. Hello, 你好.
你好.
Is this the kitchen?
这哪点餐啊？这里头哈。
Hey, 你好，你好。你好。Hey, hello. Hey, 你好. Is this the kitchen? Wow. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There you can see this comes straight out of the ocean, right onto our plates. And you can see the size of the fish, the condition of the shell, of all this seafood coming out of the ocean. You can see this is fantastic, fantastic quality. Alright, so we just got clearance to check it out. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. All this fish, look at the size of the fish. This is where they actually cook it up. Vegetables right here, and you actually choose. This is how you choose what you want to eat. So you pinpoint what you want and they will literally cook it up for you into your plate. Some little prawn there. Alright, so I just got the food, and as you guys can see, this is a heap of oysters. It's a big bowl and they are fat and juicy, and these guys cost us 38 RMB. And you get them with this little flat screwdrivers. So I don't really know what it is for. I think it's to crack the clamp open, but this lady over here is going to show me how to do it. Can you show me, please?
可以吧？这样吃的。这是开口了嘛？你这么吃就行了。这样生蚝可以这么吃。要不开口的话，我给你找一个，是这一个。
Oh, so you basically break it open.
小心一点。这样的。
谢谢谢谢。
哎，不客气。好了。
And as you guys can see, it's fat and juicy. Thank you so much. It's fat and juicy in there, but I guess the taste is what matters, right? So let's give it a go. Oh my word. They actually cooked it in a salty sauce, I can taste, because it's really, really amazing. Let's try this bad boy. Look at that. And this you can clearly see that the ocean is healthy and these oysters are healthy. And I'll tell you guys the story how they got it right to figure out a way to farm and to breed these oysters of becoming fat and juicy like this. Okay, so I want to ask this local restaurant owner some questions. 你好.
你好。
How long is your shop here?
18年。
During COVID-19, did you have problems with less tourists coming to your shop?
减少，去年减少，一定要减少，比今年减少，今年这样。
Yeah.
就是疫情真的是没减少，但是疫情过以后就挺多的。
Thank you very much. 谢谢。Ladies and gentlemen, this is the oyster farm. you get here in Aoshan fishing village. All that boats lying there, it sits right on top of the farming area where all the oysters are farmed. So I'm gonna make my way over there where they sell the oysters that basically come out of these farms. But I want to tell you a story about this place, which is really, really cool. So there was this fisherman that stayed in this village, and you know, as they fished in the oceans, obviously the fish became less and you know, and less bigger, because they were fishing the oceans dead back in the day. And his friend actually told him about a place in Yantai where they farm these oysters, and he made his way there, and he basically went to go learn how to farm oysters, because he couldn't make ends meet anymore. He was struggling to feed his family and so on. Anyway, they taught him how to do it. He brought the idea back to this small village over here, and so they started to farm the oysters. But here's the thing, these guys struggled for 10 years to get the oysters, you know, to a certain size, and you know, the taste of the oyster, and you know, basically farm them to perfection. It took them 10 years to perfect this whole system and method, but they never gave up. They kept on going, pushing, and tried different ways. They had cages under the ocean, they had different methods they tried. And then one day one of the local fishermen told them, let's switch the whole system to string. So basically this lines you get on fishing rods, they changed the whole system and they connected the oyster onto these strings. And then as they brought out the oysters, like over there, it was a win. It was big, fat, juicy oysters. And after 10 years they perfected the farming of oysters, and now this little Aoshan village is well known for farming their oysters. And you know what, these people, these local farmers, earn up to 5,000 RMB a day selling their oysters. You still get a lot of vendors right next to the landing bay here selling their hello, selling their dried fish, all sorts of stuff, some seaweed. These are some of the strings they use to connect the oysters on. And as you eat them, like I just had some in that restaurant, they're still oysters with this nylon string connected to them. But here they landed some oysters. What is this? Is this gala? No, this is oysters. Check this out. Wow. Look how beautiful they are. This is really nice. There's some mussels in between as well. So here's some locals pulling up the oysters for you guys to see how they do it, straight out of the farm onto the landing bay here, ready to be sold to people and into Jerry's stomach, essentially. But check this out, in this village you even have some technology here. I think it's the price per kilo they show on these boards. Pretty neat, I think. And yeah, so that is the story of how they started to farm these oysters. And one of the main things, my friends, is they wanted to protect the oceans, essentially, and they still wanted to make money, for the guys to make money in these villages. And they discovered a new way of farming oysters, and it's going good for these people. They are thriving. The oceans are clean, neat. The oysters are fat and juicy. Look at that. The fish and clams and everything that come out of these oceans looks so freaking healthy and juicy, big. And again, my friends, that just tells us that the ocean is healthy. These people are taking care of their oceans, and that is important. That is very, very important, my friends. So this is how their system works. This whole contraption sits on the side. They flung it over. The guy will bring his boat with his harvest from the farm of oysters, and they will connect it onto this cable or this rope over here. and they will bring it onto this landing bay and it will be ready to sell to people. Look at this. This is how an oyster farming village looks like. So check this out. Here we can see how the guys are preparing it. They're actually taking out the oysters, the meat of the oysters. 非常棒。啊，对，我喜欢这个，这个好吃。Hello, hello, hello. 你好。They are preparing their oysters. Wow, check this out. People actually eat this. I don't know if you guys know what it is, but I don't really know what it is. It looks like little shell. I know that crabs normally find their homes in this shell. This shell. You let me know what that is, because I don't know. There's bigger ones over there. All sorts of stuff they get out of this farming areas. Look at this. Very nice. Hey, 你好。对。See you. Bye bye. And the cool thing is, all these sellers right next to these landing bays where the oysters and all this stuff coming from the sea lands onto this platform, they are selling here for free, meaning their little shop cost them absolute zero money. They are all residents living in this village, and that gives them 100% right to sell their products right here on the landing bay in their village. How nice is this? And also you can see how well China is taking care of waste and rubble and all sorts of stuff. Right next to the landing area you have these big rubbish bins. Yeah, and as you guys can see, right over there is modern Qingdao buildings coming up. But this village right here, the government leave alone, because it's very important, keeping the ocean safe, letting the villagers stay in their place where they feel their heart belongs. They make money. People actually come over here. That's why you see a lot of restaurants there in the back in the main street, because a lot of people come over here to eat the oysters and clam fish and just fish that comes straight from the ocean into your plate. So this is like a small tourist attraction as well. It's just a win-win-win. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk through this village, this Oshan village oyster farm. I definitely enjoyed it. And yeah, from this beautiful fishing village and oyster farm, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers for now.